It's been almost 42 years since the 1969 Canada Summer Games, but the memories of the events are still fresh for athlete Judy Rice. She was in high school when she made the Nova Scotia field hockey team that year.
Well, I was only 17 years old when I made the team, so I hadn't been playing very long because field hockey was actually very new to this area. The main provinces for the sport were BC and Ontario.
For the first time, Judy and her hometown were in the spotlight.
People knew, if they didn't know beforehand, they knew where Halifax was. The focus for over 2 weeks was on Halifax. It left a legacy of facilities, it left a legacy of athletes and coaches. It was terrific.
For the athletes, it was an experience of a lifetime.
They put the money into the fields we played at Dalhousie, and for a year you weren't allowed to play on that surface. They resodded the entire surface, so it was exciting. It was like our Olympics.
Jean-Paul Deveau is the chair for the 2011 Games. He was 11 back in 1969, but he also has fond memories of that summer.
Well, in 1969, I was 11 years old, and it was really an exciting time in Halifax, Dartmouth, because it was the first Canada Summer Games, and nobody really knew what to expect at that time. But for me, the big highlight was down in Lake Banook, and I grew up just off the shores of Lake Banook. The paddling championships were there, but it was for the first time that you're going to see a competition, not boat club against boat club, but province against province.
It wasn't only the athletes that made an impression on him, there was a special visitor as well.
He was a relatively young guy. This guy was 41 years old. It was Pierre Elliott Trudeau, and it was really something quite special because he came down, he spoke to us in English and in French, which was, something that was very, very different at that time. But it really was a remarkable event because that just had never happened before.
From being a spectator in 1969 to chairing the Games today, Jean-Paul knows how important the Canada Games have become to Halifax. The Canada Games have come a long way in the last 40 years, and it'll be another 40 years before we see the Games back in the province. But you can start making your own Canada Games memories this year. For Waterfront TV, I'm Amanda Kincaid in Dartmouth.